Have you ever looked at your career and thought, am I falling behind? Is it too late for me to start over? Well, I've been there. At the age of 32, I hit a wall and realised I need to completely reinvent my career. Fast forward to today, and I'm an executive director at one of the world's largest investment banks, leading AI product innovation, all because I took the leap to reinvent and rebrand myself. And in this video, I want to show you how you can do the same. Sometimes we hit a point in our career where we feel underutilized, unfulfilled, or just plain stuck. Perhaps we're facing burnout, or perhaps you're realizing that the role you're in now doesn't align with the person you are. Or maybe the job role you're in now doesn't align with the person you've become. And like me, perhaps you're just craving real challenge, impact and growth. So in this video, I'm going to share 6 actionable steps that you can take that will help you kickstart your rebrand and reinvention of your career and help you move towards feeling more fulfilled and doing something that suits you and the ambitions that you have. So do wait to the end of the video to see all 6 of those steps. But first, I want to start with my own personal journey to take you through what I went through to get from where I was on an IT help desk to now being an executive director leading one of the most sought after skill sets in the industry. So in my early 30s, I came to the realization that after being in corporate jobs all of my career and being in an IT help desk and support desk role, that this could be it for me. This could be the job that I do for life, working on a support desk, solving tickets, answering the phone. And it just dawned on me that this isn't the life I want to have. This is what I could do so much more than this. And there was a realization that I was meant to do something bigger than this, that I'm capable of doing more. Yet I felt very stuck, like I didn't know what the next move was for me. All I knew is I wanted a job with real impact, something I would be proud of personally, but just did not know what to do next. The only thing that felt certain for me at that point is that I could not stay in the role any longer, and I felt that I could not move forward doing what I'm doing now. If this feeling resonates with you, then I want you to know that you're completely not alone and that you have the power to change your path. So with this internal ambition and drive but feeling stuck, the only thing I could do was research. My natural thing to do at that point was look around. What is the hot skill? What is the hot job? What appeals to me personally? And that's when I caught on to digital marketing. At the time, digital marketing was an up and coming career, really new. The age of the customer journey online, e-commerce, and putting the customer first and center of a journey, all of that was new at the time, and being able to craft really innovative marketing experiences online. And that really interested me because it was so creative, it was impactful, it was technically new, and I wanted to get into that field. I have no background in marketing at this point. I've just been on a help desk answering technical questions for banking software with no overlap of marketing at all. So all I could do at this point was read. And I did a hell of a lot of reading, whether they were articles online, to watching podcasts, attending events. I wanted to immerse myself in the vocabulary, learn what it would be like to be a marketer, but learn also what this digital marketing had to offer and what I could bring to it. And it was a patience game from there. I kept an eye on the job market, and when I looked around and saw jobs in the city close to where I was working, and with that knowledge from there it became patience, knowing that if I had to make a move into a marketing role, I couldn't afford to take an entry-level role because I'd been working for 8 to 10 years in a service desk. So moving on to a marketing role entry level would be a massive pay cut. So I had to be patient enough to look for roles where they were firstly the right salary for what I was looking for, but also trying to find a way to move into that role using the knowledge I'd just learned. So whilst I was quite mature in terms of the corporate world, I used that plus my knowledge that I just learned from the marketing terms, the frameworks I'd learned, what was going on in the industry, to help sell myself into a role that was that mid-level that I was at. And that opportunity came around, and I managed to secure a role in digital marketing and move into the next phase of my career. That was my first pivot. And it was great because for the first time in a very long time, I felt so energized, like I was learning new things. It was a trendy career as well. And I was really enjoying it. I was enjoying the creative side of it, enjoying the technical side because I had technical skills from being in an IT role. And bringing those together, it felt like the perfect job for me. But life being life, it has plans of its own for you. And I met someone, I got married, and then I wanted to start a family. And having the opportunity to start a family is a wonderful thing. But then knowing that I'd be in the city 9 to 5 or 9 to 6, or even later than that, to be honest, every single day, Monday to Friday. Bear in mind, this was before the pandemic, before the working from home revolution. You know, this is when you're in an office every day. And just thinking that I wouldn't be close to my family or being able to see my kids grow up, I took the decision to leave the city and get a local job. So get a local job in a local company. It felt like the right thing for us. It felt like I could make it work. And I didn't really think too much of the future at this point because really family for me comes first. So I bit the bullet and looked for a local job in a town near me, doing a similar role in digital marketing, but obviously for a smaller local company and a local firm. And that in itself was a real shock to the system for me. Whilst I had the great opportunity to be closer to home and be more flexible with my time and children, I was working in a smaller office with people that were effectively there for life. That was their job for life. It was a very different environment to the corporate world in the city where everyone's ambitious and driven and there's a lot of competition. And that was really driving me to be the best version of myself and always keep ahead, and coming more into a sleepier, slow-paced environment where people had settled in these jobs for life, and doing a role where you're trying to be innovative and change the way things are done. And sometimes that's rocking the boat too much for a small-time company. And that phase of my career was all about sustaining an income and enjoying my life with my family and building that future that I wanted. But then after my kids grew up and realizing that now I've always wanted to be at the forefront of what's going on in the industry I was in financial services or in technology or in marketing, and trying to move forward with that, having been in such a small company for so long, was a real challenge. And to be quite frank, I'd lost my confidence. I knew I had to build this back up. Working in a small firm that no one's heard of and doing a role which really was not propelling me into the future of what was going on in the industry at the time. I felt like I'd really had a step back, and those years really knocked my confidence. So I found a way to pull myself back together and say, look, it's time to get back into the city. It's time to get back into a career that is going to really drive me. And this is probably the most hardest part of my entire career and the toughest time that I've faced. It was that move from where I was in a comfortable, slow-paced job at a local town to moving into, big, high-profile corporate jobs. That whole process took me over a year. And I'll go into exactly what I was going through in that year. It was relentless. It was rejection after rejection for almost 12 months of sending out applications, getting to the final round of jobs, and then hearing things like, right now you're a big fish in a small pond, and phrases like that where I was doing good work, but it's just not on a big enough scale for these large corporates, and just getting knocked back time and time again. At this point, doubt started to creep in. Had I reached my peak and gone past my peak? Had I missed my opportunity to drive a career for the future? And now this is it for me. But one thing I pride myself on is never giving up. I refuse to let someone else tell me that I'm not good enough to do something, or I'm not capable of getting into where I want to be. And that just drove me. It drove me to learn new skills again. I've been in this marketing world for a while. What is going on in the industry? What's happening? And that's where the world of product management started to take shape. And I could really see myself fitting into product management so well with my IT background, now with my customer centricity from the marketing jobs, thinking putting these together is perfect for product innovation and really building customer centric journeys. I had to network relentlessly. Again, like I was in my early 30s, going to events, using some time off even to learn and do some courses on product management, building my vocabulary, and even at one point in the job that I was in, using that as an opportunity for me to start trying some product management. Actually ended up going on to build an online journey that I used as part of my interview processes as well. So using the opportunity I had to up my skills in my current role, but also not settling for any job. I just didn't want to just get any job out there. I wanted to get a job that I knew would help me, set me on a stage that I could be taken more seriously. And if those of you are in corporate jobs, you know this, that working for reputable brands is the way forward to get this credibility, and working on projects there that will help elevate you. So looking for companies that were big enough that would consider me, and also the role that was the perfect blend of skills I've been building. And I got that opportunity because if you're relentless enough and if you keep going, you will find that opportunity. And a year later, after 12 months of interviewing, I found that role and I moved into a larger, well-known brand in the UK. And it was the perfect opportunity for me to get visibility again, to grow in a new career field, product management, but also use the skills I've learned. And I felt like I was finally back in the game. And that year of rejection is something I'll never forget, but also it's driven me every day to keep going. And even in that role I was in then, moving in to a bigger brand, it wasn't the end for me. I just kept thinking, how do I make this work for my career? How can I keep going? Now that I'm in this more visible brand, I need to start building my own personal presence. If I wanted to be an executive, because my vision was to become an executive director or beyond, is how do I get to that point? I have to have credibility. I have to have a brand behind me. I have to have some thought leadership as well. And that's exactly how I used that opportunity to build my presence externally. Started to public speak, get small time public speaking gigs where I was just, on small audiences talking about product management or digital transformation or anything that I felt that I could genuinely talk about from my experience. Moving then to one of the bigger stages that I'm very proud of was London Tech Week and talking all about the future of work there as well, which was a really great experience. But that helped me to gain credibility and give me the confidence to know that, my skills are valuable and that what I'm doing is valuable. And that helped propel me to where I am now. So it wasn't just about bouncing back. It's all about transforming yourself, being in a constant state of transformation, and quite frankly, always trying to stay ahead of the curve and being on top of that. Hearing my own personal journey, these 6 steps were in that journey. And the very first one is spotting the next big trend. For you personally, in your field that you're in, with the skills that you've got, look at what the trendiest thing to do is that is closest to your skill set, but also close to where you want to be as well, what you see for yourself. Start to paint a picture of that, start to learn the knowledge, spot what that trend is, learn the vocabulary, start going on courses, podcasts, whatever it is. You have to immerse yourself in that trend and really feel like you know it inside out. You can converse and talk about this at interviews or at an event, etc. But you need to get comfortable enough to spot that trend and be ready for it. And in my case, as I mentioned, the first trend was digital marketing and getting on in the front of that. The second trend being product management and getting in front of that. So always keep an eye on where your industry is moving. The second actionable step for you is to always leverage your existing skills. Now, in my journey, I didn't start from scratch completely thinking about I have to reinvent my career, take a pay cut, get an entry-level job. Absolutely not. Your skills are always valuable. You've always got transferable skills. No matter what career you're in, there are ways that you can leverage those skills in a brand new industry. So take stock of your existing skills and start to map out a clear plan on how you can use those skills to get into the next trendy career or being in a hot career that you want to be part of. Because authenticity is also key here when you're going to interviews and you're attending events and you want to be part of this new world. It has to feel like it's coming from a genuine place and a natural place. And a natural place is always leveraging your existing strengths and skills. The third key actionable step is to upskill relentlessly. Now, you've spotted the trend in step 1, but in step 3, what you're doing is actionably learning these skills. That means taking courses or doing some projects or really getting into the depths of what it is these skills are, so that you can not only just talk about them, but show some examples of things that you've done in your personal projects or at work. Deep diving this far into the skills will really pay off massively and put you in front of a lot of people in the interview processes. Tip 4 is building your personal brand. If you want to start pivoting, you need to start building a brand. The first thing people do, looked at your LinkedIn profile, Google your name and see what you've been up to, look at your socials, etc. So start to build your brand, start to build your personal brand, whether it's just writing articles around something you're passionate about or going to networking events or speaking at an event as well. Trying to build your personal brand up so you get some credibility when you're going for these roles will really set you apart from other people in the interview process. The personal brand is also important if you're thinking about executive leadership later on in your career or thinking about getting into senior roles. Sometimes that personal brand can accelerate you far more than just getting kudos in your existing job. So it's really important to start building that early on. Tip 5 is to stay resilient through rejection. And as I mentioned in my own story, having over a year's worth of rejections of applications, you have to stick through it and know your worth. Don't let it knock your confidence and what you are capable of doing. Use each rejection to fuel you and make you more determined to get something even better. And tip 6 is network relentlessly. That means going to events, connecting with people on LinkedIn or connecting with people in communities that are part of the skill set that you want to be in, the career that you want to be in, and also just following people that you aspire to be like. Really put this at the forefront of what you're doing, because it always helps you to think about where you need to get to, where you want to be. Learn from their experiences, imitate their career paths if that's what you need to do. But this network can help open doors for you. This network can help introduce you to organizations you'd not heard of. It can help you get jobs that qualifications alone cannot help. So just remember that reinventing and rebranding yourself isn't just about getting a new job and a new career. It's about being the version of yourself that you want to be in the future and making yourself future ready. It's not about where you started or those setbacks from the past. It's about who you decide to become when the world tells you that it's too late. So if you're ready to reinvent yourself and take that step forward in your career, then hit that subscribe button and join me on this channel, because I'll give you actionable tips to do that. And I'd love to hear about your reinvention and rebrand story. So comment below if you'd like to share your journey and your story as well. So what are you waiting for? Get going with this and make your comeback story a reality. See you in the next one.